Loading. Okay, we're live. Okay, so then let's start the quest and get this done.
Hey.
Do you guys want me to be the reader?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's like the best way I can participate. Okay.
So
1
time.
second.
Put the three.
Okay.
Well,
First question.
look, X is getting. You have to times the 18 3/2. Do it.
Okay. So question 1. Are we ready?
Yes.
Just Travis is helping this game.
Yeah, no, I get that. Just let me know when I can start reading.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, which of the following are residents of rich countries likely to have in greater quantities or better quality than residents of poor countries? Housing, healthcare, life expectancy, or all of the above?
All of the above.
The above.
I was like, I swear that was from like another class.
Easiest one right there.
Yeah, it was like.
Okay. During the past century, the average growth rate of U.S. real GDP per person implies that it doubled on average about every 170, 35, or 25 years.
35.
35.
Okay.
Yes.
The average income in a rich country, such as the United States or Japan, is more than 3 times but less than 5 times the average income of in a poor country, such as Indonesia or Nigeria. 5 times but less than 10 times the average income in a poor country, such as Indonesia or Nigeria. 10 times but less than 20 times the average income in a poor country, such as Indonesia or Nigeria, or more than 20 times the average income in a poor country, such as Indonesia or Nigeria.
The third option, 10 times but less than 20 times the average income in a poor country such as Indonesia or Nigeria.
Okay. Which of the following correctly ranks the 3 countries from highest to lowest? For percentage or, excuse me, which of the following correctly ranks the 3 countries from highest to lowest for percentage of high school age children in school? United Kingdom, Malai, Mexico, United Kingdom, Mexico, Malai, or Malai, Mexico, United Kingdom?
That's Mali.
Would it be C?
It's C.
Yeah.
Okay.
United Kingdoms, Mexico, and Mali.
Yep.
Mali. I kept saying that wrong. Whoops. Countries that grew the fastest over the last 100 or so years had average growth rates of real income per person of about 1.5% per year, 2.0% per year, 2.5% per year, 3.0% per year.
2.5.
2.5, yes.
Last year, real GDP in the imaginary nation of Oceania was 561.0 billion, and the population was 2.2 million. The year before, the GDP was 500 billion, and the population was 2 million. What was the growth rate of real GDP per person during that year?
D, 2%.
And Travis, how do you calculate this one? I was trying to do some math, but
take the 561 billion, divide it by 2.2 million. Then the 500 billion divided it by 2.0 million, and then you'll get 255 divided by 250. I'll give you 2%.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was coming up with something similar, but thank you.
Thank you. Okay, which of the following would, by itself, reveal the most about a country's standard of living? Its level of capital, the number of hours worked, its availability of natural resources, or its productivity? Is it A?
Productivity.
Last one,
okay,
productivity.
Never mind. The notion that our ability to conserve natural resources is growing more rapidly than their supplies are dwindling is supported by the fact that most economies do not regard the availability of natural resources as a determinant of productivity. The quantity of natural resources does not enter into any production function. Inflation-adjusted prices of most natural resources have been stable or fallen over time, or inflation-adjusted prices of most natural resources have risen over time.
C.
Wait, hold on. B or C?
C as in cat.
Okay.
Inflation-adjusted prices of most natural resources have been stable or fallen over time.
Okay. If an inexpensive alternative to oil were found, the price of oil adjusted for inflation would decline as the alternative would reduce the demand for oil, would decline as the alternative would reduce the supply of oil, would increase as the alternative would increase the demand for oil, or would increase as the alternative would increase the supply of oil.
A.
A.
Okay. Country A has twice as many workers as country B. Country A also has twice as many physical capital, twice as much human capital, and access to twice as many natural resources as country B. Assuming constant returns to scale, which of the following is higher in country A? Both output per worker and productivity, output per worker but not productivity, productivity but not output per worker, or neither productivity nor output per worker.
B.
You chose B?
B. It's the output per worker. That's going to go up, but its productivity is not going to go up.
Okay. Which of the following would increase productivity? An increase in the physical capital stock per worker, an increase in human capital per worker, an increase in natural resources per worker, or all of the above are correct?
All of the above.
Choose all of the above.
If the number of workers in an economy doubled, all other outputs stayed the same, and there were constant returns to the scale, productivity would fall less than 1/2 of its former value, but it would still be greater than 1/2 of its former value, stay the same, or rise but less than double. Would it be A?
I was thinking about that one, but yeah.
I feel like A would be the proper answer because it's like you have twice as many workers, but you're still making half the same, like half the amount of what you could make with. You're not hitting your productivity level. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So are we
have the potential, but not the material?
Exactly. So are we going to agree on A?
Yes.
I say let's go with it.
Okay.
We'll have one person score. Submit first, and then
we'll determine which next.
Whoops.
Okay, Workland has a population of 10,000, of whom 7,000 work 8 hours a day to produce a total of 224,000 final goods. Laborland has a population of 5,000, of whom 3,000 work 7 hours a day to produce a total of 105,000 final goods. Workland has a higher productivity and higher GDP per person than Laborland. Workland has a higher productivity but lower GDP per person than Laborland. Workland has a lower productivity but higher real GDP per person than Laborland, or Workland has a lower productivity and lower real GDP per person than Laborland.
C.
Yeah, Workland has a lower productivity.
Other things equal, relatively poor countries tend to grow slower than relatively rich countries. This is called the poverty trap. Slower than relatively rich countries is called the fall behind effect. Faster than relatively rich countries, this is called the catch-up effect, or faster than relatively rich countries, this is called the constant returns to scale effect.
C.
If the best educated and most skilled persons leave a country, then in the short term, this country's human capital per worker and physical capital per worker will increase, and physical capital per worker will decrease. Will increase, but physical capital per worker will decrease. Will decrease, but physical capital per worker will increase.
That's D.
Yes, D.
In the U.S., each additional year of schooling has historically raised a person's wage on average by about 5%. In less developed countries, the gap between the wages of educated and uneducated workers is smaller. 10%. In less developed countries, the gap between the wages of educated and uneducated worker is smaller. 5%. In less developed countries, the gap between the wages of educated and uneducated workers is larger, or 10%. In less developed countries, the gap between the wages of educated and uneducated workers is larger. Would it be D?
It's D.
I chose D.
Hey, on 15, it's B as in boy.
B as in boy. Okay. And physical capital per
worker will decrease.
Okay. Other things the same. If a country raises its savings rate, when is growth of real GDP per person higher? Excuse me. As the economy moves towards the long run, and in the long run, as the economy moves toward the long run, but not in the long run. In the long run, but not as the economy moves towards the long run. neither as the economy moves toward the long run nor in the long run.
B.
Yes.
Okay. Suppose that there are diminishing returns in capital. Suppose also that two countries are the same except one has more capital per worker and so it has more real GDP per worker than the other. Finally, suppose that the saving rate in both countries increased from 4% to 7%. Over the next 10 years, we would expect that the growth rate will not change to either country. The that started this worker will grow faster. The country that started with more capital per worker will grow faster, or both countries will grow at the same higher rate.
B as in boy.
B. Yes.
Which of the following public policies would be least likely to result in more rapid economic growth for poor or developing countries? Policies designed to promote economic development in coastal areas. Policies designed to foster strict enforcement of property rights. Policies designed to foster free trade. Inward-oriented policies.
D.
D as in dog.
Yes.
Okay. Finally, economists differ in their views of the role of the government in promoting economic growth. At the very least, the government should lend support to the invisible hand by maintaining property rights and political stability, limit foreign investment to industries that don't already exist in the country, impose trade restrictions to protect the interests of domestic producers and consumers, or subsidize key industries. Would it be A?
A.
Yes. Yes. That's the one I chose.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll submit the quiz. Oh, okay.
I'll submit.
I'm submitting as well.
Well, I was saying we wait. This way one submits, and if we're wrong, you can fix it.
Okay. What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Oh, 17.
Yeah, I got 17 as well.
Guys, I did not submit.
Okay. So I said, just one.
Okay. Do you know which ones we got wrong?
Hold on.
And number 15 was not D as delta?
No, it was B. 15 is B. Yeah. That's what he said.
Yeah, just on my notes I have D because it says will decrease, but physical capital per worker will increase.
Yeah. Okay.
No, just bringing that up and not sure. D is the first one I chose, but I placed in the test D.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking. Then another one. I was not sure.
What is today?
Wait, hold on. Travis?
Yeah.
You put a B for 15, right?
I did.
And Kevin, you put D for 15?
I know. I placed B as well.
Okay. Okay. I thought you I thought you had left it at D, and I was like, okay, so 15 might be wrong.
I placed it as B.
Should I just submit? Or
no, just hold on.
Okay.
Go through this too.
First one no, second one no, third one no, 4 no, 5 no, 6 no, 7 either, 8 no, 9 no, 10. And number 10, my choice was D. What is either productivity nor output per worker, because it says country has twice as many workers as country B, and then country also has twice as much physical capital, twice as much human capital, and access to twice as many natural resources as country B. Assuming constant return to scale, which of the following is higher in country A?
So we're gonna put D or A or B.
Because what happened is that country A will have the same resources as country, let's say country has twice as many workers as country B. So if A has more workers than B, so then the productivity is less. And the output, because they have the same resources, will be the same.
Okay.
So either productivity, either output per worker will be higher on country A. The output may be the same as country B because they have the same, because it says country A also has twice as much physical capital, twice as much human capital, and access to twice as many natural resources as country B. So then they will be producing per se the same.
Okay.
So that's why I chose D at the beginning, but
hold on.
Just thinking. So I've got a question in 10 and 15. 11 now, 12, 12 now, 13 now, 14. For number 14, you chose C as cat, correct?
14, yes.
Mm-hmm. The catch-up effect. Yeah, we're fine with that one. Number 16 now, 17. No, 17. B, as the economy will store in the long run, but not in the long run. 18. B, the growth that started over the last couple will grow fast. In order and tech policies. No, I cannot see another one that may be wrong.
Maybe 12. I don't know.
12. Let's take a look at 12. It says if the number of workers in an economy doubled, all other outputs stayed the same.
All other inputs.
And there were constant returns to scale. Productivity would, because it's asking about productivity. Yeah. Because if you have more people working on the same thing, you will be able to be more productive. But if then the outputs remain the same, so then productivity will fall.
So would it be A or B? Because I thought it was going to fall to half.
Because because you have double workers, and it says fall to less than 1/2 of its former value. It won't be exactly half, because still they are producing, but yeah.
Yeah, go with B.
B?
B.
Will be greater than 1/2 of its former value. B.
So I think those are the three we might have missed.
So 12. So am I changing 15 to D?
D.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what was the last one?
10 to D.
10 to D.
To D.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to submit.
Yeah.
$20 out of 20.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So good. Now I'll mark those so I know those are right.
Okay. At least when our other friend Roman comes on, he might be able to see the video and get the good answers too.
Yeah. I will send him the link of the video as well. So thank you guys for showing up tonight, and thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Like I said, 8 o'clock on Tuesdays work for me.
Yeah, for me as well.
It works for me too. But we might have to check with Roman. to make sure he's okay, because I hope he's okay.
Yeah, because it's until midnight for him.
Yeah, and he works a lot too, and he has a kid too, so I think he was just really tired.
Maybe he just.
He was probably waiting and just went.
Yeah, that happened. Okay.